What's happening, everyone? I'm Jamie Webster. I'll have to keep my head down a bit today because I'm in Manchester city centre. We're here outside the classic football shirt store, and I'm going to take you through some of my favourite Liverpool shirts and my most memorable Liverpool shirts throughout the history of my life. Let's go in, see what it's all about. You can see a one-year-old me with a big massive head sticking out of that. Obviously this is probably the first Liverpool kit since, well, of my life really. You know, 94, 95, League Cup win, the McManaman final. I just think they just done it better years ago, you know what I mean? They just done things better. It reminds you of being a 90s kid, you know what I mean? It reminds me of the McDonald's that was on the Kop and stuff like that, which is long gone, unfortunately. And actually, funny story about these players who were in this team is Jason McAteer told me this. Funny that most of the players who've wore these tops I've worked with in some capacity now, and I know them, which is strange, but Jason McAteer told me that the likes of him, Razor Ruddock and people like that, before the bus would leave from Anfield for away games and cup finals, they'd actually run to the Mackies and get a load of Big Macs and quarter pounders, and they'd eat them on the way to wherever they were going. So we'll call this the McDonald's football shirt, shall we? Oh yeah. So this one here, got fond memories of this. So 2003, when we played this cup final, I just remember Gerrard scoring an absolute screamer. Couldn't be more fitting, could it, against Man United in the League Cup final, which I think was at Cardiff back then. It wasn't actually at Wembley. And I remember from looking at it in real time, it looked like a proper screamer, but when you look at the replay, it was a slight deflection. And but then I think Michael Owen scored in the second half to put it all to bed. And I think, even though like the treble season that obviously we'll probably come to, no doubt, I was 6, 7 and 5 or 6. The memories aren't as clear, but this final was for me probably the most early memory of a football final, where I remembered the build up to it. I remembered, you know, waking up in the morning and feeling sick, and I knew the magnitude of the day. It was a cup final against Manchester United, and obviously, thankfully, for me, my first sort of final was a memorable one for good reasons, because we won the trophy, and I've had some of my best memories, even of late. Obviously, we've won it quite frequently over the past few years, and now my brother's 10 years younger than me, and we have our best memories, you know, together as brother and, you know, two brothers, 10 years apart, with the League Cup wins, do you know what I mean? And hopefully there'll be another one very soon. Now, look at this one. See, this is my favourite ever Liverpool kit that's ever been out. And I remember begging my mum and dad to get it. It come after we won the treble in 01. It's sort of a special kit, you know. It's got 4 European Cups on it at this moment in time. It's 2 less than we've got now, obviously, but I don't know what it is about red and gold. Do you know what I mean? But I just think they look unbelievable. Right, so the next kit, as I've just spotted out of the corner of my eye, is probably the kit that's, for us Liverpool fans, was synonymous with the revival of the giant, the European giant that is Liverpool Football Club. It's obviously seen better days, but it definitely has seen better days. 2005 in May in Turkey. I wasn't fortunate enough to go to the final, because between me, my dad and my 2 uncles, there was 1 ticket, and obviously my dad wasn't willing to go without me. I wasn't willing to let my dad go without me. My uncle, at the time, his lad was really young and was too young to go anyway, so he was the one that went. As much as some of the bigger name players that you remember in this kit, you've got to remember some of the players who had unbelievable performances in this cup final. Jimmy Traore, to name one, you know, bit of a terrible first half, and then was supposed to get subbed at half time because Steve Finnan got injured. He had to stay on the pitch, and all sorts of things happened that day. And Jimmy Traore's second half performance was unbelievable. I remember Dietmar Hamann playing with a broken ankle towards the end of this game. You know, Vladimir Smica's last goal as a Liverpool player was in this kit on that night. This Milan team that we come up against was undoubtedly, for me, even still, one of the best teams on paper that the footballing world has ever seen. You know, Shevchenko was the best striker in the world at the time. Kaká was the best player in the world at the time. You had Hernan Crespo, you had Maldini, Nesta, Cafu, you know, Gattuso, Pirlo. These, you know, just to name a few, like I'm saying, this whole team was a team of giants, absolute giants. But players like Gerrard, players like Carragher, without characters like that in that team wearing this shirt, you will never ever have got out of that hole that you were in. You know, local lads knew what it meant to the fans in the stand, knew what it meant to them if they were going to go home and get, you know, if they were going to get beat 5-6-0 in a Champions League final. It would have been probably one of the most darkest days in Liverpool's history, really, if it would have carried on the way it did in the first half. And obviously we move on and get into the second half, and there's 7 minutes of absolute madness. I'd still say Milan absolutely murdered us for the whole game, apart from them 7 minutes. And it's like the old cliche says, it only takes a second to score a goal. We needed 3 seconds to score 3 goals, and in that time, obviously, you know, it was, I remember being in my uncle's house and just losing me 10-year-old mind, you know what I mean, or 11-year-old mind actually. And yeah, this top, you know, will forever, you know, I think when anyone sees that top, they'll just think back to Istanbul, the Atatürk Stadium, and ultimately Gerrard lifting the trophy. And you know, there can't really be anyone from my era, there can't really be better childhood memories than this one. I remember the city that night, didn't sleep, horns beeping all night, you know, people driving around the streets with Liverpool songs playing out the cars. Very, very, what's the word? So I'd say special kit to me. I'm moving from one cup final, European Cup final, to another one. I suppose this European Cup final, obviously, 2019, arguably one of the best Liverpool sides I've ever seen, if not the best I've ever seen in my life. You know, when you talk Alisson, Van Dijk, even Gomez and Matip at the top of his game, Robertson at the top of his game, the midfield three, Henderson, Wijnaldum, you know, even the likes of Milner, that scene was unbelievable. You know, we were just a great side. Fabinho in the Oldham role, and the front three, Mane, Salah, Bobby. I don't think the Premier League's seen as good a front three, if I'm being honest. I think we've got a decent one now, but I don't think it comes close to them three lads. You know, Mo Salah, for me, the best player in the world at the moment in time. The stats speak for themselves. I think if Messi was producing these stats, he'd be Ballon d'Or every day of the week. So my challenge now, I suppose, is to challenge, you know, the powers that be to give Mo Salah the Ballon d'Or, because what a player he's been for Liverpool. You know, the goal return, and obviously that final in Madrid, scores the penalty early on, you know, to settle our nerves. And not that my nerves need settling that day, because I had a small matter of playing in front of 60,000 people before the game in Madrid. Obviously playing in front of all them people singing LA, LA, LA to end it and wrap it up was probably one of the highlights of my personal musical career. You know, I don't think, no matter what I do in music, moments like that can never ever be taken away from you. And I've got, you know, obviously got footage to look back on over the years, and while I don't do that now, I'm sure give myself a couple of kids and hopefully a couple of grandkids one day, they'll be the things that I'm showing them, you know what I mean, to brag when they think that the dad's not cool or the granddad's not cool. I'll say, you know, I was cooler than most of them at one time, well, to Liverpool fans anyway. And yeah, it was a great moment in my life. It was the moment that actually projected me into the artist that I am today, away from football. That day I actually got offered a record deal to sing songs outside of football. That day changed my life in many ways, not only from a profile point of view, but from a professional point of view. I stopped working as an electrician as soon as I come home and started writing music for albums, you know, outside of football, and started touring the world really. And you know, the rest is history really. 3 Glastonbury shows and, you know, 30,000 people in my own town, the arena in my own town, the Pierhead shows in my own town, you know, festivals around the, you know, playing 2 sold out nights in the Victoria Warehouse in Manchester on a Thursday and Friday night, which didn't involve any Liverpool songs, was something I never ever thought I'd do because of my Liverpool background. And it's a nice way to sort of show how my affiliation with Liverpool Football Club took me to doing something completely else, and you know, was how my football club enabled me to live my dream. And probably a lot of that's down to Jurgen Klopp and what he done on this team and the inspiration that it gave me. This is the team, this is the kit, this is the manager that I'm going to tell my kids about, as like my dad told me, the glory days and stuff like that. So yeah, like all the memories in the world, and some of the players are still making new memories in new kits, and we're, as football fans and especially as Liverpool fans, we're all very lucky to witness what this team did, and technically just with a different manager are still doing. We're going to move obviously to present day. Now this kit, we've already won the League Cup in this kit, if I'm right. Wasn't too long ago, and hopefully we can do it again. Obviously this fella was the winning, you know, was the decider last time, and he's also took a mean penalty in the previous League Cup final before that. You know, nerves of steel. For me, the best centre half in the world, probably the best centre half in the world over the last 5 or 6 years, and probably, in my eyes, definitely the best centre half that the Premier League has ever seen in terms of an all-round complete footballer. He could do it all. He could probably play up front or centre midfield. He's that good. You know what I mean? He's a scary specimen of a human being. He's now our skipper. He's done the rounds. He's lifted this trophy. It was the first trophy he lifted as a Liverpool skipper. Hopefully it's going to be the second. Obviously I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm going to say that I'm biased. Newcastle are a great side. I love, you know, that a big club like them is revived. But in my opinion, just the sheer quality of our football team at the minute, obviously as of late, a couple of injury woes and suspension woes for Newcastle, which is a big blow, especially on a big pitch like Wembley. You know, I'm hoping it's a, you know, that Wembley way is red. I'll take a last-minute winner, header again, anytime. But I'm hoping we do it a bit more straightforward this year. 2-0 is my prediction, if you wanted one. And yeah, you know, hopefully another moment in history for this classic football shirt.